played by Mr. Benassi, who has been the organist at this church for many years. Welcome to the 55th commencement ceremony of the Leysin American School. Before we begin the ceremony, I ask everyone to pull out their mobile phones and to kindly turn them off or put it on silence. I would now like to greet the following guests. Mr. Patrick de Sédibus, President of the Town Parliament of Leysin. Madame Marie-Josée Jouni, Municipal Council Member of Leysin. Mr. Bracken Darrell, Commencement Speaker. Dr. Stephen Ott and Dr. Maurizio Cadri, Chairman and Vice Chairman of the LAS Board. Dr. Christophe Ott and Mr. René Vaudot, members of the LAS Board. Mrs. Doris Ott and Ms. Stephanie Ott, President and member of the LAS Foundation Board. Parents and guests, LAS faculty and staff, and especially the class of 2016. To begin, I'd like to thank Father Michel for hosting our graduation ceremony in this church. I'd like to now introduce Ms. Janie Archer, the faculty member chosen by the class of 2016 to deliver the opening words. Ms. Archer started teaching at LAS in 2011. She teaches IB English and Theory of Knowledge. She's a very passionate and dedicated teacher, working with students during lunch hours and after class. She makes the most of the outdoor life that Leysin provides. We are very proud to have her as on our faculty. I'd like to ask her to please step forward.
You're such a talented and dynamic class. Congratulations on all your efforts and accomplishments. I've taught, lived, and worked with almost all of you, and in you I see so many infinite possibilities. You have achieved so much, and now it is your commencement, and time for you to decide what you will commence to. Time for you to seek new adventures. Explore unknown territories, learn different skills, and find different discoveries. It is time for you to shape your destiny. Time for you to launch and not just fly, but soar. Remember as you do, you are more than just a student. You are more than a letter grade. You are more than the score on a paper or assignment. You are more than an IB7. A 5, a 3, 2. You are more than the title or standing of the university lucky enough to have you there. These are just the trappings. They are the accessories that add some sparkle or maybe distraction to the strength, integrity, insight, heart, and ability I've seen in each and every one of you. It is what you decide to do with these trappings that will enable you to truly shine, that will expose to everyone just how limitless you are. But to do this, you must act and work for it, earn it, not just plan like Hamlet, not just pontificate, not just ponder, but act. You've achieved one fantastic milestone here today, and now it's time to launch, to commence, time to decide who you want to become, what you want to accomplish, what effect you want to have, not only on those around you, but on the world. Be quixotic, exceedingly idealistic, dare to dream and fight for those dreams, because you are capable of not just changing the world, but shaping and defining it. It was only recently I learned that the term quixotic could have a negative connotation, that there might be something wrong with being exceedingly idealistic, believing too much, pursuing that impossible dream. I'm glad I didn't know it before. It was more than 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with very painful, crippling, and incurable disease. My initial doctors told me I would require a walker or a wheelchair by the time I was 30, that I could only walk flat, level surfaces for the rest of my life. Those doctors forgot one thing. No one tells me what I'm capable of. My teachers taught me that my expectations alone are my only limitations. Don't ever let anyone tell you your limitations. Don't ever let anyone tell you what you are capable of. Realize that your expectations are your only limitations, and dare to dream and work to achieve the impossible. Instead of buying a wheelchair, I climbed the 7th highest mountain in the world, with porters and guides screaming at me to slow down. I didn't. And even though I can't remember what it's like to wake up without pain, or take a conscious breath without pain, in 2 more weeks I'll be running a marathon with a 3,000 meter elevation gain, because flat level surfaces are not a part of my dream, and I chose to fight for it. And it's a decision I made not once or twice, but sometimes hundreds of times a day. And those doctors diagnosed me as a cripple, and yet I climb and run up mountains. If I can do that, me, can you even imagine? Can you even imagine what you can accomplish if you choose to? Because you are limitless if you decide to be. Because you are starting off, you are launching from halfway up the side of a mountain, in a village that so often, but not today, rests above the clouds. You are starting off from a height many only dream of achieving. And from here you commence. Decide what you want to commence to and work for it. Dare to be quixotic and act. Dare to make mistakes. Dare to challenge what is, because you know you can make it better. Dare to fail, because this is when you learn and, ironically, accomplish the most. Dare to make an impact. Dare to care about and help the person next to you, whoever they may be. And dare yourself to dream and act upon those dreams. And if you do, oh, the dreams that will come your way. My initial doctors may in the end be right. But if that's so, I'm so proud, so honored to have spent the last 1, 2, or 3, even 5 years here getting to know and work with you. You are my students, my community, my sons and daughters. You are, at times, my sisters and brothers, at times, my confidants, and oddly, advisors, sometimes, and friends, but always you have been and are my inspiration. You inspire me to learn more, to work harder, to experience and explore new countries and cultures, to understand different ideas, perspectives, and languages. This is the effect, the impact you have had on me. You make an impact on everyone you meet. Decide now and continue to decide what you want that to be. What effect do you want to have with friends, communities, even the world? Because that's what it means to be limitless. Decide who you want to become, and remember that you are limitless. The future is yours now, so commence. Decide, dream, and act. Launch from these accomplishments to so many others. Dare and seek to not just fly, but soar, and challenge the rest of the world to keep up with you, if they can. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Archer, for this wonderful speech. The Leysin Choir, Echo des Tours, will now perform the Swiss national anthem, followed by a musical selection. I'd like you to please stand for the national anthem. For the second piece, you may be seated. friendly, safe, beautiful, and open to foreigners. We, the outsiders within the town walls, are truly fortunate to be welcomed in such a warm and sharing manner. Therefore, I take great pleasure that every year the mayor and members of the municipal council delegate one from their midst to address us today. Mr. Jean-Marc Udrio, mayor, unfortunately had to excuse himself for medical reasons. However, we do have the privilege today to welcome Mrs. Marie-Josée Julny, member of the municipal council. Please.
Mesdames et messieurs, chères familles hôtes, en préambule, je vous remercie pour nous avoir invités à cette belle cérémonie qui est probablement le point d'orgue de la qualité de votre école. Je vous apporte les chaleureuses salutations de la municipalité de Leysin et vous exprime une fois de plus notre fierté à vous savoir sur notre commune. Félicitations, chers élèves, pour la réussite de vos études. Ce passage est probablement le début pour vous de toutes et tous, le début d'une belle carrière. Enfin, merci à vous, chers parents et familles qui avez choisi Leysin American School, ses enseignants et notre village pour la formation de vos enfants. Cette confiance nous honore. Je vous souhaite une très belle fin de semaine et me réjouis de vous rencontrer à l'occasion. Sachez que vous serez toujours les bienvenus chez nous, un peu comme dans une deuxième maison. Merci de votre attention.
Merci, Madame Julny. I will now introduce the Senior Award recipients. Most Improved Student. This award goes to a student who has shown marked overall improvement academically, socially, and other during his time at LAS. The recipient of this award is Daniil Kagurov. Service to the community. This award goes to a student who is helpful to the entire school community, both students and faculty, possibly active in the Leysin community, pleasant to work with, takes the initiative to help on her own, helpful in the dormitory, in class, on trips, and all other school functions. This award goes to Brija Knowles. ECIS Award for International Understanding. This award goes to a student who is a good representative of her own country, with a positive attitude towards the life and culture of the host country, able to converse in at least 2 languages, a contributing force in the life of the school, with the ability to bring different people together in a sense of community, thus furthering the cause of international understanding. The recipient of this award is Jenna Scove. Trustees Award. This award is given to a graduating senior who lives the ideals of the school through academic achievement, service to the community, and international understanding. The award goes to a graduate who is recognized and will be remembered for his contribution to the school while achieving excellent academic results, tirelessly working for the community, and being a true citizen of the world. This award goes to Max Baracel. Founders Award. This award goes to a graduating student who exemplifies the ideals of scholarly pursuit and intellectual curiosity as an integral part of her life. This student embraces the quest for learning as an essential aspect of understanding her world. This award is sponsored by Mrs. Sigrid Ott, founder of LAS. The recipient of this award is Annie Tran. Faculty Award. This award goes to a student who, in view of the faculty, best embodies and lives the ideals of scholarship, service, and humaneness for which LAS stands. This person should be enthusiastic about learning, is honest, helpful, liked, and respected by teachers and students, is a good to excellent student, and a contributor to the community. This award goes to Allison Fisher. Valedictorian. The honor is awarded to the senior who has taken a highly challenging academic program and who has the highest cumulative grade point average in the senior class. For the second time in the school's history, the class of 2016 has co-valedictorians, Anna Clara Martins and Annie Tran. We are proud to have Ana Clara and Annie as co-valedictorians this year. Ana Clara is from Brazil and plans to study at Stanford University in the United States. Annie is from Vietnam and will be studying at the University of British Columbia in Canada. I'd like to ask both Annie and Ana Clara to come and bring the address, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, teachers, distinguished guests, staffs, parents, alumni, and an excellent afternoon to the best senior class in the history of LAS, the class of 2016. On behalf of the class of 2016, I would like to say thank you to our dear teachers. You woke up at 3 a.m. to open the dorm for us. You stayed hours after school to help editing our essays. You were the people whom we turned to when our parents are hundreds of miles away. You have always been more than teachers to us. Thank you. I would also like to extend my thank you to the board of LAS. As Mr. Dyer said, great moments come from great opportunities. You have given us more than enough opportunities to make LAS forever memorable in our hearts. Thank you. I would also like to extend my thank yous. I would also like to thank my amazing friends for making high school so enjoyable despite IB, standardized tests, and college applications. You guys rock. Also, special thanks to Rafaela for lending me her iPad during cultural so I could type my speech. You're the best. So, when I was writing this speech, I really had no idea how I could possibly sum up all of my feelings and experiences at LAS in 4 minutes. How could I possibly condense the late nights quizzing each other on econ, the hours spent at the station eating our stress away, the laughs we had during cultural trips, or the tears that we shed when it's time to say goodbye? I guess I can't. But in line with this year theme of reflection, I'll try my best. And so as I reflected on the long, hard, tiresome, exhausting, and painful journey that we as a class had gone through together, I realized that this whole time that we've been through together, this whole time that we've studied together, helped each other, and stood by each other's side, has been exactly, if nothing else, a huge Bernese challenge. And like any Bernese challenge, it wasn't about who is the fastest to get to the top of the mountain. It wasn't about racing or competing with each other. It wasn't about who's the fittest, strongest, or the fastest. It was about encouraging each other, being there for one another, picking each other up when we felt like quitting, hiking each step together until we reached to the top. It was about getting to the top together as a class. And my dear class of 2016, today we have finally, as a class, reached the top together. We have made it. Congratulations. And so, like any other Bernese challenges, the most memorable moments of our years at LAS wasn't the fleeting, satisfactory moments that lasted for 2 seconds when we reached to the top, but rather, it was the moments when we fought our uphill battles together, when we struggled through the math exams, when we stayed up until 2 a.m. to meet an IA deadline, or when we gave each other a huge hug when colleges rejected us because we're just too cool for them. In the early 2000s, a famous American philosopher, Hannah Montana, once said, "It's not about how fast I get there. It's not about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb." And as much as we like to complain about the hike that we had, we actually ended up having more fun than we thought that we would ever have. The weekend nights in the cave, the wild dances in Barcelona, the Saturday movie nights in the dorm. And so, my dear fellow classmates, here's a message that I have for you. There are and there will be other mountains that we wish to conquer in our life. But friends, whether you choose to hike, climb, or take the telecabine, remember that don't let the aspiration for glory in the future blinds you from the beauty of the present. Dream high, dream big, and live up to your dreams. But don't forget to enjoy every moment of your life. And when I say every moment, I really meant every single little moment. Life is short. You never know if it is the last mountain that you can climb. When I first came to LAS, I had no idea how LAS would shape my future. I still don't know now. But what I do know is that my life would not be the same if I hadn't met the people whom I call teachers and friends at LAS. We all came from different parts of the world to climb the magic mountain together. And after today, We'll all leave this place to climb higher and rockier mountains around the world. Some say that this is our last day together. But I believe that it is not about where our feet stand, but what our heart holds. And as long as we have LAS in our hearts, we'll always be together. Because once a goat, always a goat. Congratulations, class of 2016. Congratulations, class of 2016. I honor you and wish you good luck. Not that any one of you should need it. I love you. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Let me take you on a tour through the monumental mountains, the falling snow, the resounding bells, and the natural richness. Let me introduce you to the musicians, the intellectuals, and the artists that take refuge in the baronial building above us. From the peaceful atmosphere and the fresh alpine air to the music that resonates from the blind corners of the Belle Epoque hallways. That's you, Sultan. Leysin, for the past 3 years, has served as my home. For most students, Leysin is opportunity to learn, to enjoy, to love, and to grow. For most parents, Leysin is pride, to have provided their children with the best life they could wish for. For all of us, Leysin is discovery of the extraordinary people, the diverse culture, and of course the check-in times that shape our world. How will I feel once I leave? I'm not sure. I guess I'll find out in a couple of hours, but there's one word in Portuguese that gets close to what I believe will happen. Saudade. Saudade is an ephemeral word that conveys a lasting feeling. It is feeling both lucky to have lived something extraordinary and disconsolate at the everlasting absence of that something. Saudade is a mixture of joy and dismay. My best guess as to what I will be feeling when I walk out of this church is a combination of saudade and excitement for what the future holds. Life is a play. For those of you in Miss Archer's class, you should probably know that a play is made up of acts. High school is one of them. It is easy to move on from one act to the other without appreciating their connection. As we move to the next stage of our lives, be that a gap year, college, or any other path, we should carry with us the experiences and knowledge that we have acquired at LAS. After all, a play with no continuity doesn't get many applauses. Carry with you the discipline from study halls, the motivation from your teachers, and the care from your dorm heads. Carry the friendships you have made and the places you have seen. Carry the beautiful view that will make people question if your boarding school was like Hogwarts. Carry, most importantly, the uniqueness that LAS has given you. However, unlike a play, life is not scripted. It's not realistic for me to say that these 3 years have been carefree and predictable. Like most of you, I face challenges that have shaped me as much as, if not more than, the good times. Whether in personal relationships or in school, these challenges, coupled with the support of the people who truly matter, are what gave me both the tools and the confidence to prepare me for the next act. In a few minutes, the class of 2016 will be history, and the world will be ours for the taking. I invite you to embrace it, to change it, to make it your own. Finally, as I refuse to conclude my speech simply by congratulating the class of 2016, I would just like to say, enjoy your play.
Thank you, Annie, and thank you, Ana Clara. Parents are essential to the school. They support us in a myriad of ways, not only entrusting their children to us, but also recommending the school to family and friends and sponsoring events to promote LAS. Parents bring in fresh ideas and support the school in various ways, such as supporting our scholarship program for deserving students and helping fund our full renovation of the Magic Mountain Athletic Center. Father of Connor, who's graduating today, Mr. Darrell has been a generous supporter, partner with the school, and advocate for his son. Mr. Darrell earned a bachelor's degree in English from Hendrix College in 1985 and his MBA at the Harvard Business School in 1991. He has over 25 years of experience in business management and brand management in successful global consumer companies, including Procter & Gamble, General Electric, Whirlpool, and now Logitech. His experience has spanned the globe, but his real love is creating great products and great brands. He has led the growth and reinvention of iconic brands such as Old Spice, Braun, and now Logitech. Since 2013, he is the Chief Executive Officer and President of Logitech Incorporated. Mr. Darrell has overseen an exciting time at the company when Logitech has become a growing company again and a top-performing stock at the Swiss Stock Exchange. He's a very engaged parent who cares about his son and his education. He gave a very inspiring speech at our TEDx talk last February titled, "Stay Hungry as a State of Mind." In recognition for his contribution to the community, LAS would like to offer the Parent Award to Mr. Bracken Darrell.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Also, just say my father there.
He will now give the commencement speech.
All right.
First, I have to say that I didn't realize today that the LAS education would start to pay back so quickly. Just a few minutes ago, my son, who the connection was too tight and missed his flight here, had to take a taxi all the way from Geneva to the school campus, and he arrived about 1 minute before the procession started. Unbeknownst to either one of us, we needed cash to pay the taxi. And Dr. Rod actually gave me the cash. So I'm thrilled to predict that this education will pay back for you at least at some point. You know, I'm really, really excited to be here today at the podium in front of my family, including my son Anderson, who just arrived, my daughter Blair. You know, I'm so proud of all three of my children, and thank you, Connor, for bringing us to this mountaintop today. We, Anderson, Blair, Mom, and I are all very proud of you, just as I know every parent here is so proud of each of you. I'm especially honored, class of 2016, to be one of the last things between you and this big step in your life, leaving this place for the last time as a student. I have 8 minutes, and I have to admit I'm a little intimidated. You know why? While I have a good memory, I've been to 3 of my own graduations and about 6 others that I can recall. I can't remember a single word from a single commencement address. I can't even remember a single commencement speaker. Now, I'm pretty sure one graduate will remember that I spoke. That would be Connor, by the way. But I'm also pretty sure that most of the rest of you won't remember me either. Now, it's a little easier for some reason for all of us to remember stories. So I'm going to tell you 3 stories. I think those 3 stories are all relevant to your life ahead. And maybe one of them will stick with you. The first story is a reminder to always be a builder. Once upon a time, man sends 3 young people out in the world. He gives each of them something before they go. The first one he gives, the first young woman, he gives a cord of wood, of cut wood. That's a lot of wood. The second one, he gives a bucket of grain, wheat or corn. And the third one, he doesn't give anything to. He spoke to each young person. To the first one, he says, "You've been given the gift of wood. It's cold now, and it's going to be worse this winter. So you can burn it, and it'll keep you warm." The second one, he gives the gift of grain, and he says, "You'll need food immediately when you leave here today, as you set out. So you can eat this grain, and it'll fill your stomach for the first steps of your journey." To the third one, he says, "I have nothing for you. You're really on your own." Interviewed later, the man was asked what he hoped to accomplish with these gifts, and he said this: "I hope the first young person will figure out that if he uses the wood to build a shelter, instead of burning it, to stay warm immediately, she'll be protected for years instead of just warm for a few weeks. The second might figure out that if he plants the grain instead of eating it, he will create a harvest for years to come. And the third has the biggest advantage in many ways. That person will be forced to create a shelter, to find food, and to be resourceful and clever in doing it." This story is actually a story about all of us. We're all 3 these young people in our lives. Sometimes you're given advantages, relationships, education, material things, jobs. Sometimes, and very often, you'll find you're not given advantages at all, like that last person. And often the advice you're given, as the old man said, this wood will be good to burn so you can stay warm, is actually not the best advice for you. The man told both the first 2 that they should take the short-term advantage. But you need to focus on your own growth, and on the long term as much as you can. Whatever you're given, try to turn it into something that produces for you the long term. Don't just make it last. If you can, make it live and make it create for you. Always be a builder. And remember, you'll be the most successful when you learn that you can create from nothing. Just using your own hard work, humility, and persistence. Now, the second story is my story. You heard Dr. Rott describe my career path, but I'm going to describe a few things about my story that are a little less obvious. My first point here is that struggles you go through that you think you'd love to avoid, or at least overcome very quickly, are actually often the most important experiences you have. They're the ones that really help you become what you can be. Let me repeat that another way. Your hardest moments, whether they're failures or just hard-won successes, are usually the most important things that grow you, so you don't want to avoid them. These growth opportunities can be beautifully disguised. They look like things to avoid. When I was a child, I was intimidated by the simple dinner table. Luckily for me, I used to think, we didn't eat there every night. But when we did, I wouldn't open my mouth. My 2 older brothers were much more eloquent and much smarter than I was, and I was sure to feel like a fool if I spoke. That fear carried right over into school. I was terrified of speaking in public. Once I got to college, you would think I would have conquered that fear. But even if my terror of public speaking in front of others occasionally weakened just a little bit, it was temporary. That fear always came back. And then I went on to business school after that. And there, that stubborn fear raged worse than ever. My fear of public speaking was my constant and very unwelcome companion. And there, half of our grades were about speaking in class. Every moment, every comment I could muster was a victory. It was so tough and so difficult. And after all that, I wound up being a pretty good public speaker. Those hard things you face, or you already do in your life, those trauma, or that trauma, is disguised. And it's actually muscle building. Yes, it hurts, and it's hard, but it makes you bigger and better. Now, I'm going to assume you already know my second point, but I have to say it anyway, sorry. Just work hard. I always did, usually harder than my peers, and it gave me more experience and better results most of the time. That's the truth. There just aren't any shortcuts in life. Now here's one more reality of life. You'll be preoccupied one day, if you're not already, with getting into the right school, getting the right job, and later getting promoted to the next thing. This is okay, but it might lead you to think that those are the most important things in a good career. But the more formative ones are usually the steps that seem to be off the ladder to a successful life, I promise you. The most important steps in my career were not the promotions or the steps up. They were the steps over, or the steps back, or even a big failing. My biggest mistake early in my career, and I'm not sure I've managed to fail at this magnitude since, it may be one of the biggest mistakes in P&G's career, was a product launch that was a miserable failure at Procter & Gamble. One I knew at the time we shouldn't do, but I didn't have the courage to stop. Boy, did I learn that one. I try never to let the herd drive me to decisions because of that. What a wonderful failure for me. View them all that way if you can. They're all amazing opportunities to learn. Try not to do them twice. Another time I took a big step back, and on top of that got passed up for a big job. And I think I was so lucky that both happened. When I left GE, the General Electric, I was running a team of over 1,000 people, and I was in my 30s. But I was not going to get an opportunity to run the whole consumer product business there. So I agreed to move from a job overseeing 1,000 people to go back to a job overseeing 20 people, in a job I'd actually done 3 or 4 years earlier. Now, it was a tough decision. It was a very humbling step, and a very humbling step backwards, in my view. I did it because I was promised I would have a big, exciting opportunity to run a global business after that, Braun. But shortly after my arrival, I was passed over for that big job I'd come to take. They gave the Braun job to somebody else. It was a double hit. I had stepped way back in my position to position myself for the next job, and then where the job opened up, they gave it to somebody else. I was really hurt, and I felt temporarily like a victim. I'd stepped backwards, and I felt I'd done it all wrong and made a big mistake. But instead of running another direction, which probably would have been dumb, I stayed put and didn't let the victim mentality take over my attitude. I doubled down on my current role, and I stayed a positive force. When the job came up again, I got it. My CEO and others respected my hard work, humility, and dedication. And this later time, with the benefit of a little more experience, I drilled the job, and I'm sure I was much better because I was passed the first time. Finally, somewhere along the way, I've learned that goals really matter. It's amazing what a difference they make. Even when you don't achieve most of them, they align you to do something. I started more formally setting goals at about your age. And later, when I got out of college, I made it a much more formal system. I even used to grade myself every year across every dimension of my life. I never reached all my goals. And in fact, I was a much harder grader than any teacher or boss I've ever had. And I think the highest grade I ever gave myself was a 66%. And I think that's a D in the LAS grading scale. But the point here is, goals set a standard for yourself and set them all the time. Remember this if you don't remember one single thing that I've said except for this. Goals are free, and they're super powerful, so always have some. My final story takes place in the future. In fact, it starts in just a short while, right here on this beautiful mountaintop. It's a cloudy but beautiful mountaintop. In an hour or so, when you leave this mountain, in this story, you are the lead character. It's the story of your life. You're off to a great start with this story, and the friends you've made, the things you've learned, the subjects you've studied, and what you've grown to understand about yourself, they all go with you from here. Luckily, you will walk off this place, this physical place, as students soon for the last time. But you'll leave it for future kids like you, and it's in incredibly good hands with Dr. Ott, his family, the faculty, and staff. And as you go into the future, remember that you and you alone are writing the story of your life. Nobody's writing it for you. Not your friends, not your parents. That's because it's your story. And I hope it's a story about building yourself. Whatever you're given, turn it into something that's more. And when you're given nothing, or even a setback, when you fail or just get passed by, don't allow the victim in you to have a voice for very long. Double down and turn those moments into personal growth. And make your life story an adventure. The good news is, you've already proven you're adventurous by coming here. Now from here, make your story one where you experience new things and take risks often. Get out of your comfort zone as often as you possibly can. Make it a love story, not just one where you love others around you and show it, but one where you love what you do. As the song goes, wherever you go, whatever you do, learn to love the one you're with. That includes the job you take. Graduates of the class of 2016, you probably feel for a moment like you're at the end of something and the beginning of something else, because you are. Congratulations on completing the first big chapter in your life, or act, as our valedictorian speaker said. What a terrific start. Congratulations on behalf of all the proud parents and families who could be here, and especially those who couldn't. Now I'm going to close with a little passage from it's actually the last line of a wonderful book by a legendary philosopher named Dr. Seuss. Some of you may know this book. It's called Oh, the Places You'll Go. And if you haven't read it, I recommend you pick it up sometime over the next few weeks. Now I'm going to grab it. It should be under your chair, Mark. Contrary to what you might think, I don't carry this everywhere I go, although I'm tempted to. Now, I just couldn't resist reading this because the last line here seems so appropriate for you, and the whole book is perfect for a graduating senior. And so it says, so be your name Buxbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Ali or Ellen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your next mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Darrell, for this very inspiring commencement speech. A person needs both roots and wings to succeed in life. Roots to know oneself and wings to grow beyond oneself. The roots have been given to our graduates by their parents who have patiently and wisely raised their daughters and sons, chosen them to send to LAS, and are today seeing them off to universities. Let us give a big round of applause to all the parents of graduates. The wings that will carry you to greater heights have been given to you by your teachers. On a daily basis, they have encouraged you to look beyond yourself, believe that you can run faster, jump higher and further than you ever imagined. They leave you with the ability to fly in quest of intellectual growth. Let us give a big round of applause to all of the LAS teachers. Now we come to the highlight of today's commencement ceremony, the awarding of diplomas. Mr. Johnson, Dean of the Belle Époque campus, will read the names of diploma candidates. I'd like to ask my father and my brother to join me in awarding the diplomas. Now, one special request. Please, 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 this may sound very difficult, I ask all guests to hold your applause until all the diplomas have been awarded.
Maria Camila Acle Vasquez. Bandar Abdullah Abba Alula. Sultan Abdullah Khaled Aldabal. Aranza Alvarez Torres. Zachary Robert Arriaga. Hafsat Atiku Abubakar. Maxime Berisel. Jean Barut. Robin Olivia Bose. Alessandro Brizio Faletti de Castellazzo. Maria Borevova. Thomas Saif Kaloshi. Sidney Cardenas Cortina. Yi An Chin. Vladislav Cherevkov. Dravid Chitra Subramaniam. Besart Chopa. Connor Darrell. Jules Debout. Blagovesta Ilyeva Dinkova. Samantha Dunn. Mariela Elizabeth Dyer. Carla Valeria Fajardo Monroy. Allison Megan Fisher. Daniela Gentile. Sergei Gitilov. Marcus Ground. Rafaela Guimarães Moura. Marcela Guimarães Nogueira de Castro. Victor Ivochkin. Sarah Jauhar. Igna Yurgetita. Porta Yurgetita. Anya Katarzyna Juszczyk. Daniil Kagirov. Alexander Kain. Umar A. Kalanov. Yusei Kataoka. Shion Kitamura. Brija Knowles. Ilya Kovalyov. Maxim Kozlov. Maria Kusova. Maria Eugenia Landa Alcaraz. Zayao Li. Yakub Leek. Qian Lin. Caroline Stobu Malmesen. Katarina Maria Mayauskas. Julia Mardushinska. Sofia Marquez. Ana Clara Martins Guimarães. Alexandra Maria Messersmith. Elizaveta Morozova. Megan Murray Bruce. Piotr Tadeusz Napierawa. Maya Jade Nishizawa Maskins. Francisco Nobre. Ekaterina Noose. Kenechukwu Anthony Nwodo. Denise Arnaud. Liliana Kreidler. Timur Ramazanov. Christina Ronaldo. Aicton Rodriguez Cruz Barbosa. Rafael Saria. Alicia Serena Shamji. Jenna Lee Scove. Radish Stefan Surugiu. Kanwan Lian Trun. Nomundar Sagan. Eva Vasquez Costas. Daria Vertzilina. Yixi Wong. Dongyu Wei. Ruchi Daniel Wigwe. Julius Nent. Ninja Wu. Farouk Zafran. Chin Yang Zung. Graduates, please stand. The moving of the tassel on your hat from right to left at graduation is called turning the tassel. It symbolizes one's transition from candidate to graduate. Class of 2016, please turn your tassels. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2016. Please be seated.
I would like to now ask my parents to give their address.
We hope that you will strive for self-improvement through study and an open mind, that you will never stop to find excitement in learning.
We hope that you will be loyal to your friends and your family, in happiness and in sorrow, in good times and in difficult times. Loyal to your convictions, for they will carry you through the tribulations of life.
We hope that you will find love and will love beyond mutual attraction throughout your life, but remember, loving is trying to make others happy. Love is patient and kind. Love is not joyous or boastful. It is not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrong, but rejoices in the right. Love bears all things, believes in all things, hopes all things, endures all things, and love never ends.
We hope that you will be strong and withstand the challenges of life. As written by William Henley in the final verse of his poem Invictus, it matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishment my soul. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Stay strong when the winds blow hard.
We hope that somewhere hidden in your soul, you will remain a bit of a child, so that you can find joy in the small things of life, the excitement in winter's first snow, the budding flowers of spring, or the sun setting on the horizon. Keep on experiencing beauty of the world like a child, seeing it for the first time in wonderment.
We hope that you will remain a citizen of the world, actively contributing to the understanding among humankind. A citizen of the world is tolerant and understanding of other traditions and cultures. A citizen of the world bridges artificial barriers by finding unity in being a member of mankind.
We hope that you will lead a full life and experience its joys. We hope that you will find the inner strength to face, overcome, and learn from the trials and difficulties of life, always putting them into perspective with those that other people experience.
We hope that as you experience success in life, you will not forget those less fortunate than you. There is true joy in giving and in helping others.
We hope that you will remember the magnificence of the Dent du Midi at sunset and loveliness of the first snows on the slopes above Leysin. We hope that you will be committed to maintaining the world's beauty for future generations.
And last, we hope that as children of LAS, you will not forget your alma mater on the Magic Mountain. Write to us, we will answer. Visit us, you're always welcome.
Godspeed and au revoir.
Thank you. Sultan Al-Double and Ekaterina Nus will now perform the LAS school hymn, Hail to Thee, Our Fostering Mother, composed by my grandfather and founder of LAS, Fred C. Ott, when he was only 16 years old and himself a boarding school student. Following the alma mater hymn, they will perform Powerful by Alicia Keys. Dr. Ira Bigelow will accompany both songs on the piano. I would like everyone to stand for the first piece. You could be seated then after that.
again, thank you Sultan, thank you Senior Choir, and Dr. Mayor. I'd like to now say a few words about my grandmother, Mrs. Sigrid Ott, who founded LAS with my grandfather in 1960. She is currently watching us here through the streaming, and I hope that you will be able to see her later at the reception. Mrs. Ott was born during World War I on a farm in North Dakota in the United States. She married my grandfather, Fred Ott, in 1939. In 1945, at the end of World War II, my grandfather was transferred to Germany as a U.S. Army officer. 2 years later, she moved with her 2 little children to Switzerland, the birth country of her husband. Her life has been filled with many adventures since then.
In 1949, after learning German in Bern, she started a summer program called International Ranger Camps. In 1960, she co-founded LAS, which opened its doors 1 year later. In 1978, my grandparents retired but maintained a close connection with LAS. Today, in the 100th year of her life, she's an avid reader, a wonderful conversationalist, and still joins us at key school events. So again, we hope that she'll be able to join us at the reception and banquet a little bit later. She will most likely be in the trustees' room, so please go by and say hello. Finally, I'd like to now introduce my brother, Dr. Christoph Ott. He oversees admissions, IT, summer programs, and all support staff. He oversaw the full renovation of the Magic Mountain Athletic Center. He started working at LAS in 2006 and assumed the role of Managing Director, Head of Operations in 2012. Both he and I jointly lead the school. So please, Christoph, come on up.
Proud parents, exhausted faculty, and beautiful class of 2016. Today, you've heard many, many powerful and inspiring words. Well, I would like you to convince all of you to become superheroes. A world I know very well through my 2 little boys, Jonas and Alec. What is a superhero beyond his or her superpower? A superhero is a representation of our aspirations of making the world a better place. It just makes for a more dramatic story to see people flying through the air, fighting to save the world from evil powers. The superhero I want to talk to you about today is Spider-Man. Peter Parker, the man behind the superhero, was a teenager, just like you, when he discovered his superpowers. When Peter got bitten by the radioactive spider, he basically was a nerdy kid wrestling with the same challenges of studying, belonging, and figuring out who he wants to be. As Peter discovered how to use his new gained abilities, his Uncle Ben gave him a phrase that I want you to ponder as you leave the church and go out into the world. With great powers comes great responsibility. With great powers comes great responsibility. Today, we are facing a world polarized as never before. Extremism, nationalism, intolerance are all part of our daily landscape of world events. Extremism, religious extremism, has made entire regions and countries dangerous depending on your religion, ethnicity, or creed. Nationalism, the success of a dangerous brand of nationalism in many countries built on openness and tolerance, is very worrisome and very frightening. Intolerance, the lack of empathy by rich countries for the migrant flows from peoples from Afghanistan and Syria, people risking their life to get here, is putting into question our humanitarian values that have been the cornerstone of many rich countries. LAS has given you great powers of a superhero with a world-class education, amazing friends from all corners of the earth, and a value system that you should wear as a shining armor when faced with difficult decisions. So I urge you, put on your armor, mask or disguise, and change the world for the better. I want you to be innovative, compassionate, and responsible citizens of the world. The world needs you like never before. The super villains are on the rise. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I know that graduates, you know that the weather can change every 10 minutes around here, so hoping that it's a bit better than it was when we came in, we may be able to have and enjoy the apéro on the lawn. Otherwise, we will be inside for the apéro, followed by the banquet inside the Belle Époque Grande Salle and dining hall. Graduation pictures will also be available for purchase during the banquet, and photographers will still be around if you'd like to have more portraits taken. We will be leaving in opposite order of entry, so I ask all guests to wait until all graduates have left the church. Outside of the church, graduates will throw their hats in the air. Then I ask everyone to walk up to the Belle Époque campus. During the reception, we will be enjoying music from the Rose des Alpes, Leysin Town Band, and Alpenhorn music from the region. My last and final assignment to the graduates. Before you are free, please return your hat and gown at the entrance of the Belle Époque. All right, Mr. Benassi, recessional, please. live stream. It's a live stream. Yay, live stream.
Je suis un peu loin en fait. Enfin, je suis un peu en haut quoi.